Winter Food Festival at Thoresby. Good morning, Tony.
Morning.
You've had a look at this website and you've noticed that, yes, £1,000 has been paid.
That's right, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. And we're in a recession as well.
You need to get yourself a little Christmas pudding online business.
Yeah. Well, how many Christmas puddings have you got to sell to make £1,000? And that's a lot of money.
What is it about Heston's that
I think
are so
it's the
desirable?
orange. I think it's the orange.
Yeah?
And Christmas puddings traditionally do have things put inside. You know, in the history of Christmas puddings, people would put coins in there.
Yes,
and
our family, they saved the old
and
sixpences from years ago.
That's right, yeah. But I think people were probably choking on one or two. So I think our tradition's moved out the window a little bit.
Don't tell me the health and safety police have taken over our Christmas puddings as well.
Yeah.
No, it was always done in our family until the latter years when they became replaced by pound coins. And then the children always... my nan seemed to make sure that when she dished up, the children got the pound coins and they got to keep them after they'd been to the dentist with their broken teeth. Although Mum was a dentist, so she was on hand to help. But so this must have... It's as with all these things that seem to sell out quickly, it's the desirability factor created by the lack of supply, isn't it? I mean, we get it with the Christmas presents for the kids. If something's sold out, mums and dads feel like they have to move heaven and hell to get this thing.
It's this Valencian orange, that preserved Valencian orange, that is the main ingredient that goes into these Christmas puddings, and there's only so many of them. I think there's 25,000 sold. So yeah, I think that's created the demand. And of course with Heston attached to it as well. Everyone's crying out for it, but £1,000 is a lot of money.
It's ridiculous.
You can make your own. You can make your own.
You've made how many this winter, do you think?
Oh, let me see. About 300.
Oh, that's a lot of stirring.
Yeah. Well, we have big containers in the kitchen to help us do that.
Do you put booze in yours?
Lots of booze.
Yes.
Yeah.
The smell.
Yeah.
I can conjure it up now in my own nostrils. And I've mentioned before that in our family it was always the matriarch, the oldest woman, on my mum's side, that would do it. So my nan did it for years and years and years, and we'd all be invited round to have a stir and make a wish.
Yeah.
Then she died and my mum took it over. And then just 4 years after that my mum died. Have I taken it over, Tony?
I think we're losing these traditions, aren't we? Yeah.
I'm a lazy girl.
But it's so easy to make. You can make your own very, very easy. It's all in a one big bowl, and you've made it yourself. Of course, how easy it is to make it so quick.
I've stirred. All I've done is stirred and made a wish. The prince never turned up, by the way.
Yeah.
The millionaire. Yeah. All right. Well, you've got some good tips then on things you can throw in that might make it a little bit different. A twist.
I can tell you. Well, yeah, there's a few things that you look at the seasons of fruit. There's only a few things really that you could probably, if you want to emulate the orange, you could maybe put an apple in there.
All right, we'll save these gems.
Yeah.
We'll talk in a second.
Okay.
And I would like to hear from you then, if you have a family tradition. Fascinating to hear on Friday morning when our loose ladies arrived, Chrissy from Normanton on the Wold, she, even though her children are in their late 20s and 30s, she still stirs the pudding and rings them up, puts them on the phone, and they make a wish as she's stirring the pudding.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you've got any traditions like that, it's maybe a little ingredient that goes in that makes yours delicious. 015 934 3434.
December the 14th.
Bill in West Bridgeford's called in after our chat about pantomimes, and he says these pantos are all well and good, but they are so expensive. There are many people on the minimum wage who'd love to take their families to the theatre, but it isn't affordable. Now, you're quite right, Bill. When you add up all the kids, as well as the mums, dads, grannies, it's quite an expensive outing. The prices vary, though, from theatre to theatre. And don't forget, in Mansfield and Newark, at the Palace Theatres there are pantos running, the Playhouse as well as the Theatre Royal. And then there are the smaller local productions to go and enjoy. But, yeah, if you do want the extravaganzas that you hear about, you have to save up your pennies. I know a lot of families give the tickets as presents, maybe Christmas presents, which is not a bad idea. Anyway, it's 9 minutes to 11. Talking of pricey, paying £1,000 on eBay for a Heston Blumenthal $13.99 Christmas pudding. People are mad, aren't they? These must be millionaires. footballers that have just got to have it on the table this Christmas. Well, Tony Sloan reckons he's made probably 300 puds this year for a food festival and also at Fellows Morton and Clayton. You yourself, you really don't like them, do you?
Christmas pudding?
Yeah.
Only in small portions.
They are heavy.
They are very heavy, yeah.
If
I like lots of turkey first and then
Yes.
save a little bit of space for pudding, really.
If you were to design a Christmas meal, you know, you'd have your starter, you'd have your massive main course,
Yeah.
and then someone would surely come up with something very, very light, like a bit of sorbet or
Yeah.
some meringue that would just
Or a-
slip down.
Well, we have the chocolate log.
Well,
Chocolate
that's
Yuletide log. That's
quite
a soft-
heavy. But no, we decide we're going to kill ourselves with Christmas pudding that
Yeah.
weighs about the same amount as a small car.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's what does you
very
in.
dense.
Yeah, they are dense, but delicious. So you've said you could possibly put apple in your pudding.
Looking
It's a bit healthy, that,
Looking
isn't
at the
it?
seasons,
Bit
of course.
healthy.
If you really want to put something in the centre, maybe an apple. you know?
So it's in the
When you-
centre. He's got his
Yeah.
orange, Heston.
Bang in the centre.
Oh, I see. I know. A chocolate orange.
A chocolate orange.
Put that in the middle. Now we're talking.
Yeah,
Just in case you hadn't had enough calories on the day.
yeah. That sounds like more of a fondant pudding to me.
Mm.
That sounds good.
What about a clump of marshmallows? No. Grim. That would be grim.
I think you'd be fighting for the portions there.
Yes. So, or perhaps, no, this, now I'm thinking. A poached pear that you've
the one.
pre-poached in red wine and sugar.
That's the one.
Put that in the middle.
That's definitely the one. But you might want to change the name because maybe a hidden pear is not what you want to sell on a box.
Perhaps not.
No.
Okay, so traditions, I think I've probably covered them all. There's the stirring and making a wish. There's the putting the coins in there. Anything else, if you do have anything else that you do in your family, then do get in touch. We haven't talked about setting fire to it, Tony.
No. Well, you turn the lights out, lots of hot brandy over the top.
You see, when I was a
It's,
child, I thought setting fire to the pudding literally just meant getting a
exciting.
match and holding it against the pudding. And I wondered ever how that would ignite. But since marrying my husband, his family is, well, they're experts at this. So, yeah, they get like a ladle, put the brandy inside, and then hold it over either a very healthy candle flame, but it does take a while, or the gas hob.
The gas hob. That's
Hold
the
it
one.
over the hob so it's almost ready to ignite. Then you can tip a little bit of the brandy up over the side of the ladle and poof,
Keep the fire extinguisher close at hand.
yeah, and then
And
pour
then
it over the pudding.
that's it.
And then turn the lights off, and then everyone goes, ooh!
Be careful though, if you put too much on and it burns away too long, it does make it crispy on the outside if you know.
Dries it out a bit.
Yeah, it dries it out a little bit. Yeah, so just enough. Yeah.
And you don't want all the alcohol to burn off.
No, you want some of that just so you can watch the next film on Christmas Day.
Yes, that's right. Oh, delicious. Okay, so Christmas puddings. I wonder how many calories are in them. You can get chocolate Christmas puddings in some supermarkets, I noticed. So, you know, there are themes developing here. But is your view that you should leave the traditional pudding alone? You know, there's no need to improve on it. It's already
It's evolved
brilliant.
over hundreds of years anyway to come to the way it is, and Heston's just taken it on another level, I suppose. Chocolate, I've not tried one of those. Where are they selling those?
Oh, I've seen them in, you know, the sort of taste the difference typey ranges, and a few supermarkets. Christmas pudding ice cream for those that don't really like
Yeah,
Christmas
I've
pudding
made
as an
that.
alternative. Have you?
I've made that.
Have you?
I've made a baked Alaska Christmas pudding as well.
How do you do that?
Well, you make the ice cream, and inside the ice cream's got Christmas pudding, and you make a meringue. So it's a baked Alaska with a twist.
So you put actual Christmas pudding inside it?
Yeah, and it's great for using leftover Christmas pudding as well. So if you've got a little bit there, and makes a difference for your ice creams as well.
And the ice cream, if you are going to make it at home in one of those makers that you asked for Christmas last year but have
Yeah.
never used, I'm pointing at myself. How would you make a Christmas pudding ice cream?
A Christmas pudding ice cream,
Yeah.
you'd use a basic custard recipe, which is eggs, cream, sugar. That's egg yolks. So roughly around about 4 egg yolks to a pint of cream. Maybe about 75 grams of caster sugar. You want to warm the cream through with some vanilla. And in a bowl with your eggs and sugar, pour the cream over, just stir it through, take off the froth, let it cool in the fridge for a few hours, and then pour it into an ice cream maker.
Yeah, but where's
And
the
that should
Christmas
churn.
pudding coming from?
That should churn nicely. And just before it starts to thicken inside the machine, you just crumble some of the Christmas pudding in there as well. And then you let it set in the freezer.
So it's not a flavouring of a pudding you're putting in, it's the actual Christmas pudding.
It's the actual Christmas pudding. Or alternatively, if you want a darker one, you can put it in the cream and warm it through that way. And then set it in the fridge and then put it in the ice cream machine.
Goodness, I'm feeling a little peckish. Tony, thank you so much for coming in. And
thank you very much for having me.
Christmas
Thank you.
Puddings, about you're sick of the sight of them, aren't you, after making 300 this year? All right, Tony Sloan from Fellows, Morton and Clayton. Francis Finn with you. Here's the Drifters.